Well, hey there, Papper people. This video is gonna literally have it all. I say literally, I mean literally. We have a cat, YouTube. Don't try to bite me. Stewie just lays around all the time now. He lost that zest he had as a kitten. This video is gonna have it all. And I mean everything. There's conspiracy theories. There's death. We just lost a cat. And I'm going to be answering a bunch of follow-up questions we had on my last video. But first, let's get to the meat. Kung Pao Shizzy says a CPAP killed my dad. That's all we need to know. I don't need to hear any more. CPAP killed my dad. Can CPAP in fact kill you? Now this has to do with the foam removal of the Philips Respironics Dream Station. This is not to be confused with the Dream Station 2 that has the formaldehyde that it puts off that can allegedly cause problems with your continued life. We're going to get around those YouTube censors one way or another. So let's look at possible other victims of this. I share with you Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy. A closer look. Now this might be too soon for this. Sometimes I lose sight of if things are inappropriate or not. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say we can talk about this under these circumstances. Now, we know there were some kind of weird things around the alleged self-deletion of Mr. Epstein. A lot of oddities. Now, we know he was in there by himself. And we know this because this picture, well, when they reported it, they never lie. But this top bunk here has no sleeping, no mattresses. Bunch of medication, bunch of stuff he's using for storage, and then his messy bunk here. So now there's some weird things, right? We have the guards that like never really worked there, but they decided to work there that night. They had the cameras that for some reason weren't working that night. It's kind of odd. And then no roommate, even though he was on lack of life continuation notice. I think I said that right. A lot of weird things, but then I think we might have an answer here. And if we scroll here, we see, oh, what's this? CPAP tubing. Where does this tubing end? And now we can find it from this picture here. We have the gray tubing, goes under the mattress. Is it connected down here somewhere to the darker tubing that flows to a Philips Respironics System 1 PAP device? Chock full of cancer foam. Now I ask you, is it possible? And another question, was he or was he not with this cup using distilled water or tap water? And if that's not a mystery to you, I want you to answer this. Is the earth flat?
Excuse me, Johnson. This is very, you probably shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, Johnson, it's extremely controversial.
It is controversial. But you know what's not controversial? The prices at cpapsupplies.com.
Johnson, I see what you did there. What, did you actually plan that? Johnson, in that case, that was one smooth transaction.
If you had to get one thing I'd recommend for everyone, it would be the Hurricane Dryer. Now the Hurricane Dryer here, $189. You might be saying, why would I pay $189 for this funky looking machine? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because when you wash your CPAP equipment, when you clean it, really the hardest part about it is drying it. Anyone can wash it. Any schlub can wash it. But can you dry it adequately? What, are you gonna hang it over the shower rod? Let it dry like a hobo? Really? You gonna do that? Look, with tubing that makes it dry moldy and musty, ain't got time for that. Your mask, you get those little beads in there of water and you put it on and all of a sudden you have little flecks of water like someone's spitting in your face. Like you have a llama spitting in your face. Do you like that? You want a llama spitting in your face? No. That's where the Hurricane Dryer comes in. You pop your stuff in there. There's even a little gizmo you can plug your tube into. Set it in there for like 30 to 45 minutes. It automatically shuts off. Your stuff is crisp and dry and slightly warm. It's lovely. Say goodbye to moist equipment. Check out the Hurricane Dryer, cpapsupplies.com. And for a limited time, although it's pretty much all the time, you can use discount code LEFTY20 or 20LEFTY. I always forget. Check the description box. It's right there. You can save 20% off And it's not just for the Hurricane Dryer, any mask or accessory. There's no controversy there.
They're swag. Check it out.
Now we have a question here from Doreen. Doreen says, Jason, I need a video on how to incorporate a nighttime skincare routine with topical retinoids when wearing a full face mask. When I'm wearing my mask, I haven't been using anything on my skin, and my 54-year-old face is telling me I need to do something to help my wrinkles. Help me out!
Excuse me, Jocelyn. I think that you should answer this because you don't have a lot of female followers. It's like mostly dudes.
So Doreen, though that's a sweet question, and I really, really do appreciate your faith and your confidence that I can answer this adequately, let me get a close-up here. You notice how my face looks like a 1980s catcher mitt? Yeah, I'm kind of leathery. I'm kind of hairy. I am not the dude to answer that. But that said, there are some products available out there. Just look up CPAP mask liners. That may be what you're looking for. I'm going to have a review, another review, like an update of a specific mask liner that I really, really like. I've had a positive experience with. And they're actually now on sale, where before they weren't on sale. So now they're actually being sold. So hopefully that will do it. But as far as skincare, that is not a phrase I ever use. Pearl Drum JT says, "Aye, what pillow is that you lay on?" Well, I lay on a pillow cube. It is rad for side sleeping. Super firm. It's very rectangular in shape, and what's great about it, what I really like about it, is because it's super firm and I'm a side sleeper. I can sleep on my side. It supports my neck in a phenomenal way, and it allows me to hang the mask off the side of it. Even if I don't hang the mask off the side of it, it keeps my head kind of floating up high above it, so I don't get the mask hitting and then like kind of pulling off. You don't get that action going on. You have to be really careful what size you get, though. They have like a 4, a 5, and a 6-inch. Very important what size you get, otherwise it kind of cricks your neck and it's not so cool. But that's the pillow I lay on. And then we need to answer some questions from this hero or villain. Dude, this guy, look at this guy. If we look at this picture, this guy's wearing a CPAP mask while he's driving his truck. I ask you, hero or villain? And let me just show you one thing real quick. Sorry, a lot of tangents. Every time I upload a video, now this is sad on multiple levels, all right? I have almost 80,000 subscribers. Every time I upload, do I get 80,000 views? No, because people really ultimately don't like this channel, which is fine. I'm not sure I like it either. But I'm getting almost like 2,000 views. And what's worse, what really hits me hard is the -2 subscribers. And this happens every time I upload. And I know this is supposed to be common. They say it's very common. Every time you upload, you're going to get a loss of subscribers. You know, and it's hard not to take that personally, because I know that when I unsubscribe from people right when they upload, it's because I say to myself, you know what, I'm really just not into this person anymore. Their content's become crap. It's dry. I'm uninterested. But the really good channels, like, you never unsubscribe. But so I have to acknowledge the fact that this channel sucks. So I mentioned this guy is not the only example of this. Do you want to see more? And this dude's like, yes! Show me more. You want to see more? You really sure you want to see more? Boom. This guy right here. Big blue truck. Some people were trying to say the other guy was acclimating himself to CPAP. That is not what's happening. They are trying to fudge their DOT compliance reports. Trying to get his hours in while he's awake because he didn't want to wear it at night. Yeah, he's skirting the issue. This is Reddit, and they have like tons of people are going back and forth. But you know what? This ain't Reddit. This is YouTube. So we're sticking to YouTube. So the question is he a hero? Is he a villain? This person, I'm just going to take one of each side. This guy is a hero. My ex was a truck driver, and the DOT has all kinds of unfair rules and regulations about medication. He had to stop taking a very important medication just to drive. There needs to be more than just a wear it for 4 hours a night and some other kind of test. Some other kind of test. I mentioned that other test. It is a maintenance of a wakefulness test. And this is what I think they should do. Let me get to that in a second. You know, before, I actually wasn't planning on looking at this. This guy's proving that the regulation aspect is bullpucky, 100%. If the machine can't detect that he is fully awake during his 4 compliant hours, then it's just smoke and mirrors. That's exactly what it is. can't enforce it, it may as well not be a regulation. Alan D says the machine does know if you are awake or asleep, but the regulators are too lazy to dig any further than total hours used. That would require effort. Alan D, you have no idea what you're talking about. The machine has no idea if you're awake or asleep. Not at all. To a trained eye such as myself, I can absolutely see if someone's awake or asleep with fair accuracy. I would say I'm like 95% sure most of the time. The machine has absolutely no idea whatsoever if you're asleep or not. Now let's go up to the guy that takes a hard stance the other way. This guy is not a hero. Why and how were the rules developed? Truck drivers were falling asleep because of sleep apnea and killing themselves and others. Big rig going down the road, a lot of damage. I can certainly understand that. In fact, when I was growing up in Stockton, there was a truck that went off the overpass and slammed into the concrete embankment on the other side. Massive explosion right by my house, and it was like charred, like black char from all the diesel fuel burning up under there. So people said these drivers shouldn't be on the road. The truckers said, we'll use CPAP and the problem will be solved. So this is a union getting involved, right? A negotiation ensued that minimized how much the drivers had to use a CPAP machine. Once it was finished, the drivers were free to complain about the law and find ways to abuse it. And if you think this is wrong, ask yourself how you would feel if an 18-wheeler with a sleeping driver T-boned your family. Would you think that photo was so funny? Of course not. But that's, this is where the problem, in my opinion, comes in. Are we saying that your family can't be T-boned by a single driver? Check the news. Look for drunk driver wipes out family. One single driver, not regulated by DOT, by these regulations, that's drunk driving. I'm just saying stuff happens. And so are we going to take all these drivers just because they meet some arbitrary metric of neck size, hypertension, BMI is another one they go by? Are we just going to take these random metrics and apply that blanketly across the board, and to truckers who really, they're not like flush with money. So for them, it's a great expense and a great hassle. And we're going to do that in the name of public safety. This is where that other test comes in, the maintenance of wakefulness test. How about we let them prove that they can stay awake? If they can stay awake with those metrics, so they get flagged, and instead of doing a whole sleep study and having to prove compliance, they can go in for an MWT, prove that they're not a danger to fall asleep, and maybe have them do it 3-4 times. It's going to be less time than taking a whole sleep study. Let them prove that they're able to stay awake, and leave it at that. But what you're saying, and I understand that, hey, this has already been negotiated. I'm not a big fan of negotiation. I personally was in a union, and they would negotiate away things that were extremely important to me, like healthcare benefits. They would flush those away so I could make another nickel. I hate that, and I know that there's other people out there that would rather negotiate that themselves. So when I'm told like, oh yeah, this has already been negotiated, I hate collective bargaining. Man, I learned the hard way. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm an individual. I want to be treated as an individual. I don't want to be lumped in with rules that other people have. So really not a fan. But I'm not disagreeing with you either at the same point. And I was really trying to get the pulse of you guys. Is this guy a hero or not? He's gaming the system. I don't know. Trackman asks, what's RDI? RDI is respiratory disturbance index. Okay, you have apnea, hypopnea index. Number of apneas, clear cessation of breathing, you completely stop breathing while asleep. Hypopnea, decrease in airflow of at least 30% that results in an arousal or an oxygen to saturation of either, depending on what rule you use, 3 or 4%. That's a hypopnea. Apnea-hypopnea index is the number of times you do either of those per hour of sleep. If you take the apnea-hypopnea index and you add into that respiratory effort-related arousals, that is the RDI. What's a respiratory effort-related arousal? Basically, think of it as a hypopnea, except with it, you have to wake up because it's a respiratory effort-related arousal. So you have to wake up, but it doesn't fully meet the criteria for a hypopnea. So if you have apneas and hypopneas and respiratory effort-related arousals, that is your RDI. So number of everything, all breathing abnormalities per hour of sleep. Bam, hella good. I'm having problems with taping my mouth with air filling up in my cheeks at night. Is there a solution to this? There absolutely is, and I will be doing a video on this very soon, within the next half year for sure. Then it looks like Heavy Chevy is peeved. You shell out thousands of dollars for the CPAP or bi-level machine, and alas, it is not enough. You still need another piece of equipment, a cumbersome neck brace, making them even more money. This is ridiculous. Well, I mean, really, you only need to buy a cumbersome neck brace if you have jaw drop. If you don't have jaw drop, you don't really need to do anything at all. And you know what? I'm going to put the blame on you. If your yak keeps opening up, causing your full face mask to leak, that's on you, boo-boo. But this is the part, this always gets me, making them even more money. Who is them? So are you saying that the people who sell the CPAP and bi-level machine, a DME, a durable medical equipment company, is making money off the sales of a neck brace that you can buy off of Amazon or Rite Aid or Walgreens or Fred Meyer? Heavy Chevy is getting really mad over something that's like, it's like he just ran a marathon and went through all the hoops. He's like 3 feet from the finish line and he's like, ridiculous!
That is ridiculous, Jocelyn.
What's ridiculous?
Yes.
And last question, I was going to do a whole video on it, but it's really not enough for a whole video. So 11 days ago, my bad for getting back so fast, Tony Hernandez says, can I still tape my mouth even with a full face mask? Would I notice a difference? You really have to ask yourself the question of, why are you using the full face mask? If you're using a full face mask because your nose is chronically congested, maybe you have a deviated septum, maybe your turbinates are constantly inflamed, that's not something you're really going to be able to overcome easily. And so if that's the reason you're using a full face mask to bypass your chronically clogged nose, yeah, I really would not tape your mouth in that situation. But if it's because you can breathe through your nose all day, every day. But for some reason, when you lay down in bed, you get all these mouth leaks and you've already tried taping, and no matter what you do, you can't get the tape to resolve it. Then go ahead and use a full face mask. And if you add tape with that, to me, that's different because you're not really trying to breathe through your mouth. It's just every now and then it's leaking out. You can't get the tape to stick. So adding tape with a full face mask, you're mostly breathing through your nose, but now you have this equal pressure. So you're not going to be like sputtering all night. So if that's the situation and you're mouth taping with a full face mask, absolutely go for it. I don't think there's a problem at all. And would you notice a difference? Yeah, you'd be sleeping better. And that's under the premise, or that's under the assumption that you're using the right pressure. If you're not using the right pressure, hey, all bets are off. It's going to suck. If your chin's not dropping, which, by the way, the tape's going to help you with. If your chin's not dropping, mask is maintaining the seal, you're on the right pressure, all's well. It doesn't really matter. That's all I've got for you. Thank you for watching this video without a purpose. If you want to sign up with a PAP therapy analysis with me, check out axgsleepdiagnostics.com. Check out the sponsor of this video, CPAPsupplies.com. And I want to thank all the Patreon supporters, YouTube members. You guys are phenomenal. I know you get nothing extra for it, but I really do appreciate the support. And if you have any questions you want to have answered, I'm going to try to start doing this style a little more. Instead of answering directly on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and do a video of it so everyone can benefit, hopefully, from the answers. The quick hit format. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Clean your stinky mask with some Mask Bright, available at Amazon. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks, buddy, to Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Sarvesh Joshi, Stuart Hetherington, Mona Swearingen, Chungtu Chen, Edward Steiner, Erin Stevenson, Deborah Permute, and Shannon Kerr, and another slightly less thick thanks, buddy, to all the other YouTube members, Patreon supporters, and other stuff.